E.T. here. Information for this story comes from Adam Pollock's book, In the Ring with Bob Fitzsimmons. Buy that book new and stay to the end of this video for some interesting and somewhat amusing anecdotes. The date, January 14, 1891. The location, New Orleans, Louisiana. The occasion, the fight for the world middleweight boxing title. And it is the first world title bout for that weight's title. The combatants, the champion Jack Dempsey, the Nonpareil, versus an Australian challenger, Bob Fitzsimmons. A more recent comparison to these two might be Roy Jones Jr., Dempsey, and Antonio Tarver, Fitzsimmons. They're fighting with 5-ounce gloves, and it's a fight to the finish. And this battle drew worldwide attention. It is one of the most reported on sports events of the late 19th century, along with James Corbett's fight with Peter Jackson, and later with John L. Sullivan, and also the Wimbledon Tennis Championship match, which was won, I think, from Wilfred Baddeley. Some of you experts may know. Over 4,000 people attended this New Orleans battle, and they came from all over the world, and they paid a lot of money. It cost $10 or $350 in today's money to be able to sit on a bench, and it cost $100, think $3,500 today, for one of 6 comfortable chairs. Dempsey, much like Roy Jones Jr., was considered unbeatable in his weight class. That's why he was called the Nonpareil. Fitzsimmons, from New Zealand, later Australia, and later the U.S., like Tarver later, was not well known in the U.S., but he had recently dispatched 2 tough Americans, Arthur Upham and Billy McCarthy, and dominated the best of Australia and New Zealand. The statistics, both are about 28 years old. They weigh in under the what was then 154-pound middleweight limit. In fact, Dempsey comes in at 147. That's welterweight today. Fitzsimmons weighs 150 pounds. Dempsey is short, 5 feet 8 inches. We don't know his reach, but it was pretty long. His KO percentage, only 46%. He is a boxer. He's very deft in the ring, not known for a KO punch. Fitzsimmons, 6 feet tall. His reach, 72 inches. His KO percentage, 93%. Now, they're fighting in a 24-square-foot ring, and that's going to give an advantage to Dempsey. It's lit by electric arc lights and a bunch of oil lamps. It has one part outside the ring enclosed by barbed wire for the newsmen. The fight, let's look at it. It's 9:30 p.m. Both men are standing at scratch in the middle. They shake hands. Round 1. Fitzsimmons is forcing the action. Dempsey more active in countering. At the end of the first round, those who bet on Dempsey, who lost the round, would say later, as one man did, and I'm quoting, "Well, that's the way Jack fights. Wait until the 6th. He'll do in Fitzsimmons then." During round 2, Fitzsimmons' deadly body shots were doing terrific damage, and Dempsey, when not backpedaling, is forced to clinch. This is another round victory for Fitzsimmons. Dempsey's face badly marked. Round 3, Dempsey's mouth bleeding. That was from a right uppercut. Moments later, Dempsey is down, but he rose, seemingly unhurt. But anybody who was looking at his nose at the time saw that it was broken. Round 4 is all Fitzsimmons, beating Dempsey into the ropes. He staggers him with a hard right. Again, Fitzsimmons wins the round. Round 5. All Dempsey now can do is clinch. And near the end of the round, he's dazed and bloody, about to go down, but saved by the gong. Round 6. This is perhaps Dempsey's best, but again, it goes to Fitzsimmons. Round 7. Dempsey is now weak, groggy. At one point, Dempsey is knocked into the ropes. He's seemingly out. He's sitting on one rope, arms dangling, wide open for a right-hand shot. But Fitzsimmons, always the gentleman, refuses to attack. Dempsey gradually stands, and he attempts to strike Fitzsimmons' body. It hits, but no effect. The round ends with both in a clinch. Fitzsimmons seems to be, to the audience, holding up his foe, whose face is just crimson with blood. In the 8th round, Fitzsimmons lands heavy rights to Dempsey's head and body. But Dempsey, famous for ring intelligence, is able to keep the long-armed Fitzsimmons from setting up his most powerful punches. Now, skipping on to the 10th round, Dempsey is running on fumes and is put down several times. One time, a right to the face, similar to the one George Foreman used against Joe Frazier. It lifts Dempsey off of his feet. Then another punch puts Dempsey down, and again he's saved by the bell. Now, at one point before the bell, Fitzsimmons whispers to his opponent, "Jack, you're whipped. I can't hit you." Round 10. Fitzsimmons beats Dempsey around the ring, and again he pleads with Dempsey to quit. And then he shouts the same to Dempsey's corner. After the third knockdown, a towel is thrown in from Dempsey's corner. But Dempsey refuses to quit, and he points to the referee, "Don't stop the fight." Round 11. Dempsey is running, but Fitzsimmons jumps forward, lands a hard right, puts Dempsey on his back. He's dazed, but again he rises. And again he's beat down, and he gets up again. And at this point, Fitzsimmons again pleads to his corner. But Dempsey points to them, says no. Dempsey clinches onto Fitzsimmons, and in doing so, like a wrestler, he's pulling him back, hoping that both fall to the ground. But Fitzsimmons refuses to go down. He breaks the clinch and very gently lowers Dempsey to the canvas. Round 12. Fitzsimmons quickly knocks Dempsey down with hits to the body and the head. Dempsey slowly rises, and Fitzsimmons again appeals to stop the carnage. No response from the corner or the referee. 4 times Dempsey is knocked down in this round. The last one was a light uppercut to the chin, and only then did Dempsey's seconds throw in the towel and climb into the ring. Fitzsimmons then lifts Dempsey up, and he hands him to Dempsey's seconds. But Dempsey made it clear he's not done. He yells to the ref, "The fight will continue." Round 13. One local paper wrote this: "It was sickening to the most bloodthirsty of the audience. 4 times Dempsey's down with hard rights. And after the last one, Fitzsimmons went to his corner. He's convinced that it's over. But darned if Dempsey didn't rise again right before the gong." Round 14. Fitzsimmons gives Dempsey a sharp tap on the jaw, and he fell forward on his face. So wrote a New Orleans newspaper. But again, Dempsey rises to his feet. Fitzsimmons throws one more punch to behind Dempsey's ear. And now Dempsey is done. The fight is over at 10:17. It lasted 49 minutes. Well, here's the aftermath. The wild crowd pushes forward to shake Fitzsimmons' hands. Fitzsimmons looks rested, unmarked. The New Orleans Times-Democrat wrote this: "It was the almost universal opinion that the Australian was by far the greatest middleweight in the world and one of the fairest fighters ever seen in the ring." Dempsey's nose broken, face puffy, mouth bleeding, left eye swollen, nearly shut. In a few more years, the Nonpareil was dead of tuberculosis. Fitzsimmons, in March of 1897, went on to win the World Heavyweight Championship. There is no light heavy title at the time. And Fitz weighed only 167 pounds when he took the title from James J. Corbett. Oh, some interesting anecdotes from this fight. A woman attended the fight which women were not supposed to do, dressed as a man, and she was arrested for, and I'm quoting here, violation of an ordinance against appearing in men's attire. Something else. A number of bettors lost big money when they'd put down money that said Fitzsimmons would win in the 10th round. But as you know, the Nonpareil refused to cooperate. Something else. Fitzsimmons was able to find training facilities because a young man named James J. Corbett knew people in New Orleans and requested that they make something available for Fitz. And that helped found a friendship between Fitzsimmons and Corbett that would last until things changed dramatically when Fitzsimmons challenged Corbett for the title. Something else. Jack Dempsey, the Nonpareil, his real name was not Jack Dempsey. It was John Edward Kelly. The later heavyweight champion, Jack Dempsey, his real name was Dempsey, William Harrison Dempsey. And that's all I've got. Comment, share, and like the video. That's very important to do all of these. And tap the bell. You'll be notified of new uploads. You know the drill. Thank you.